Focus on B, the video series where I spent about 20 or so minutes playing and talking about a game that I've got some thoughts on that I've been playing around with, and this is Diddy Kong Racing for the Nintendo 64, released in 1997 by Rareware. Basically, from what I've gathered from popular culture, the de facto developers for the system, even though personally, I can't say that I really love all of their games. I'm not even the biggest fan of GoldenEye, funnily enough, but this game is a very, very interesting concept to me because it is so fucking ahead of its time, it's not even funny. So, have you ever played Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed? This is essentially that, except in 1997. So, like, 15 years prior, on hardware from, like, 1996, and it's good. It's really good. I think the overall level of polish is very impressive considering, first of all, how early this was in the system's lifespan. In fact, I'd say this game feels more just refined in every single way than even Rare's future kart racing efforts in the system. So have you ever heard of like Mickey Speedway USA? That's an actual thing that exists, and fucking Rare, of all people, made it. And this game actually kind of takes, well, I don't know if it's accurate to say that it takes cues from, because it came out around the same time, but, so you know how in Sonic R, you can collect these tokens and stuff, and I'm pretty sure this isn't gonna work, right? Because this is one of those bullshit-ass games where you have to finish in first place, otherwise you don't achieve anything. Yeah, so basically enjoy the rest of this video being this one race I'm gonna try and complete. So as you can see, just completing a race at this point is no longer enough. What they want you to do is to complete the race while also collecting these end coins. I don't know why they decided to make the visualization for that like a horizontal, like a vertical bar, as you can see, because it just kind of looks like a bunch of batteries or something, like watch batteries. It doesn't look like actual coins being collected. Let me just collect this one as well. I think it's better, I imagine that it's better to collect each one as soon as possible so you can focus on the racing later, because the AI totally rubber bands, right? There's no way it doesn't. Except it, actually, I think it doesn't. Look what's happening. They've caught up to me even though I'm in last place, even though I should be in first place as I'm in front of them. But that must mean that there is no rubber banding, which is really odd. This is a kart racer with no rubber banding. Like, we're witnessing it right now. I'm just realizing it for the first time. How did that happen, actually, come to think of it? I thought there was, you know, regulations that decided, no, these kind of games need these particular mechanics. Therefore, it's a kart racer for kids, so it needs to have rubber banding. Maybe rubber banding gets disabled just for these events to make it more challenging. I think this is very clever, though. See, the N64, right, it was a cartridge-based system, so it wasn't able to fit quite as much shit in its games as, like, a PlayStation game could. And so, they needed to get more out of what they had. Now, funnily enough, I think this game actually has a very generous amount of content to begin with in terms of tracks and characters, and yet they still feel the need to put all of this shit in here, which, I mean, I can't say it kills the game or anything, and I'm pretty sure I can still, like, advance even without doing this. I think, at least, there should be some stuff unlocked for me even if I don't complete these challenges, but this is clearly part of the intended progression for the game. So what was I going on about when it came to Sonic R? You know, I was talking about how, well, yeah, basically, it's interesting how both these games, these racers released in 1997, both put a spin on the usual progression system of a kart racer, of a racing game in general. You're not just going from cup to cup, right? And that's not even mentioning the whole transformation mechanic in this game. Now, to be fair, it wouldn't be accurate to call it transformation because it doesn't happen mid-race. You enter these specific vehicles for particular race types, and each track is designed with that kind of vehicle in mind. So, I fucking missed. So it's not as if, you know, things kind of happen dynamically, even though the game is very dynamic still in the way that it plays, and in the sense that it's just really, oh, fuck you, that's gonna cost me the race, isn't it? Oh my god, that is... Ah, god. See, I have this strange understanding of how difficulty in certain games works as to whether or not I'm curious. Oftentimes I find myself genuinely curious as to whether or not when a game is being designed, if it is intended to be completed. Now, that's not necessarily to say that this is like, oh, it's an arcade game. It's literally meant to not be beaten, because that's how arcade games are made. You're not supposed to win. Here, no, they probably want you to win at some point, but it's going to require a bit of trial and error, and I think that's probably what defines, that's like the main difference between a kid's game and an adult game. It's not the level of violence or gore, it's the amount of repetition required, because kids generally have more free time to do the same shit over and over again like this. It's really clever how they've positioned those, because you basically have to take you have to get it on the next lap. Let's see if we can catch up to Conquer right here before he has a fucking alcoholism problem. Because it's so strange, right? Seeing these characters before they appeared in the... Because this has Banjo in it, too. You know, Banjo from Banjo-Kazooie. And yet, he's over here in a freaking kart racer. Oh my god, I might actually get it. If no one cucks me over right at the end, I think we might be good. Except you can't shoot stuff backwards, but I guess I can't really be too surprised. Actually, did Mario Kart 64 let you shoot items backwards? I swear to god I remember that being the thing, but anyway, doesn't matter because it only took us 6 minutes, but we did it. We actually completed an event in this game. That is an accomplishment, because again, this was from that sort of era where it's like the strange intermediary era between the fuck you, don't ever beat the game arcade era, and also the, oh yeah, wait, this is a piece of entertainment that's supposed to make people feel good, so let's make it easier to complete. They were kind of trying to figure out how to kind of fuse the two. So at this point, it's like, you can win, it's just a massive pain in the ass. And here we have one of the flight missions, one of the flight races. Speaking of missions, actually the game does genuinely have these little challenge events, like this one where you gotta like get these eggs to hatch and stuff by collecting them. But regardless of that though, I find it really interesting how there are still some people out there though who still insist that Mario Kart 64 is better, and you know what? I think it's like a pure kart racer. I mean, obviously, like no shit, because it's dedicated to just the kart racing. But this is more of an adventure driving game. It's, I guess, almost in like a similar vein to Beetle Adventure Racing. In fact, it's very similar, come to think of it. I mean, Beetle Adventure Racing is just about driving cars, right? Just driving them normally as you would on the ground. Whereas here, obviously, we have not just planes, but also hover vehicles, or hovercrafts, which are all-terrain, or, well, they're primarily used for the water. Where the hell is the final collectible anyway? Hold on. I need to make sure I don't miss it, because this will be pretty fucking funny if I finish in first place on my first try, but I missed the collectible. It's gotta be somewhere over here, right? N64 draw distance, don't fuck me over now. Where are you? Where are you, collectible? Oh my god, is it... Did they forget to put it in the fucking level? Oh no, we final lap. Ah, you know what? I bet it's like over here. I knew it. I fucking knew it. And now I have to restart. There is no choice. There's no turning back with these things. I don't know if their turning radius is actually too wide to allow for that to happen. Let's go ahead and get that one first just to get it out of the way, because I'm going to forget about it again. There you go. The collision detection is actually fairly generous on these, so you can collect them. There you go. Look, I barely hit that one, and I still got it, which is good, because they understand that being precise in a plane is damn near impossible, or at least with these kind of controls. You know, the controls are very tight. They're very good. The game plays very smoothly, and considering the amount of stuff on screen and the fact that it's mostly polygonal, it's very impressive that it's maintaining a very, very steady frame rate, right? The N64 was always weird to me because it's like, you're more powerful, and yet you run everything like dog shit, except, okay, there are some games that run well. Hot Wheels Turbo Racing runs pretty well. That's about it. Oh no, GoldenEye runs at 60 FPS. I remember it running really, really smoothly when I last played it, which was a while ago now, but still. It's just odd because you really would think that it would all around be better, but no, for example, like V-Rally, I did a video on that a while ago, it's like last week, and that game looks a hell of a lot better than it does on PS1 for sure, but it runs like complete garbage. Regardless of what mode you use, it runs a little better in the first-person camera, but in third-person, and especially if you use the widescreen mode, which is really cool that it's there, but God, it runs so bad, especially in the nighttime stages. But here, everything's really smooth, really polished. It really shows that Rare just had a technical knack. Even if I personally am not the biggest fan of their choice of the way that they design the games, they're like kind of like the codemasters, I guess, of the N64. You know, they were just really fucking good at squeezing every last bit of performance out of this thing. And it's thanks to them that the N64 even got any sales at all, because otherwise it's like, what did it have? Mario 64? Okay, cool, that's a great game. And, well, it had some other third-party games, but still. So what was I on about earlier? I don't remember, but hey, look at that, now we got a boss. That's another thing that's weird, because this game has bosses. It's a kart racer that genuinely tries to structure itself a lot closer to a conventional adventure game, as I was talking about. A Beetle Adventure Racing, I just call it that, although it seems to be called that just because of the fact that it has all these alternate pathways.
If you can beat me again, I'll give you a special prize.
Okay, why are you talking like you're from Unreal Tournament? Okay, I think at this point we're just gonna be, yeah, look, this is a boss. What it really is just a kind of dickish race, because he gets a massive head start, and oh no, we got these fucking pillars falling as well. The good news is that you get items, and with those items, you can actually shoot them at the fucker and not kill him, but you can slow him down a little bit, except, okay, this race is what I dub the impossible event, because I have no idea how I'm going to make it past this, considering that the game is doing everything possible to stop you from winning. Now, to be fair, that's not to say that it's going to be all that hard. I mean, like, oh, damn it, I missed. And now there's going to be a boulder. It's all about memorization, right? Except that boulder, okay, it avoids me, that's good. So this is a really cool concept. I'm a little bit straight-laced when it comes to my racing games. I wouldn't say I'm like a hardcore sim guy, but for example, I've unironically grown to kind of prefer V-Rally over the Colin McRae games because the driving is a little more planted. That's not to say it's a simulation of rallying, absolutely not, but it's a little more planted, a little less slippy-slidey all over the place. Even though Colin McRae eventually kind of, he alternated to a different sort of handling style that was much more grip-focused, right? For example, especially in the Dirt games, ironically enough after his death, but yeah, in the Dirt games, that's when the handling, even though the game structure became more arcade-like, the actual way that the cars drive, it didn't become more sim necessarily, but it did definitely see a difference. And I think that this game is actually kind of similar in a way that, well, for one, fuck's sake, what's gonna happen? Oh, if you fall off, you get fucking booted back to the hub world. That is so not kart racer like, right? I really appreciate these unique, oh fuck yeah, I got it. These unique qualities about a kart racer, especially nowadays that we don't really get a lot of, well no, we do get plenty of weird and quirky kart racers, but they're not on the same scale because it's riskier to make a big budget game that's not quite as standard. So back then they could take more risks because this game was made by like 14 people. 14 people for one of the biggest releases of the year. Really. That's unheard of today. That would never happen. 14 people. I mean, unless it's like an indie game that just suddenly blows up, like Super Meat Boy or something like that, right? You can have those kind of stories happen, but it's not super common, especially on, the major consoles, even though, well, Meat Boy was on Xbox Live Arcade, which was kind of on one of the biggest systems of the time, the Xbox 360. I swear to God, I've seen a shortcut here, so, oh, I fucking knew it. Yes. Is he gonna call me a fucking cheater or something? I bet, is he gonna pull a Koopa the Quick and say some shit like, oh, you cheat, oh, wait, he overtook me anyway. You know what? I know what I have to do. I have to grab one of those early boost pickups and save it specifically for that section. That's what I have to do. So, I'll do that by simply grabbing one of these blue balloons, the month of June, and it's... God, remember that when it was a meme. Lazy Town, that was a weird show. I genuinely could not tell who was a puppet and who was an actor because of the way that the makeup would be done on the actors. And to be fair, like that's actually not just me thinking it's like that. If you've seen behind the scenes videos, you'll know they do genuinely do some serious shit, especially to Robbie himself, Robbie Rotten, R.I.P. But for fuck's sake, anyway, I think I can. That's what I'm gonna do at this point. So what else is there to really discuss when it comes to this game, other than just its concept, its execution? It's very good. The frame rate is taking a little bit here. That's a little bit unfortunate, but I think now I should be able to... Oh, nice. Is that even better boost? Blue typically means better power, so unless it's like... Oh, you can level them up. Holy shit, I had no idea. They stack, kind of like, remember... Oh, it's not enough, though. Stacking them isn't enough. Okay, this race is impossible. That's okay, though, because, again, the games were in that sort of intermediary period where they were trying to figure out whether or not they wanted to be possible or not. So that's okay. We're just going to move on to something else, because that's the difference between an impossible arcade game and a home console game that's still impossible. The fact that... Oh, what's he going to say?
Challenge you to a race.
No.
Abracadabra.
No! I can't say no? What the fuck? Okay, so... Elephant Man is like... What the fuck? Oh, that's what he call... I see. Oh, I can abandon the challenge if I want to. I'm gonna do that. I don't... Oh, that's cool. See how it smoothly transitions into... Whoa, there's this whole other area. Ah, I get it. The childlike sense of wonder. Wait a second, but I can't... Oh, now I have to go all the way back and fucking transform into a different thing. That's cool, though. So you unlock these different areas in the hub world, and so basically you're just going for 100% completion. You don't have to stick around for those freaking coin challenges and beat the boss again, who's a cheating fuck and is not meant to be beaten. Seriously, go ask Rare. Like, they will tell you, yeah, we designed this to not be completable. That's how it works. If you do complete it, you can't. So let's go ahead and ask this guy to transform us to a flying vehicle. Change vehicle to a plane. Alakazam, there you go. And now, after having your YouTube career tested right there, because it's very easy to get canceled with a character like that, I'm just going to go ahead and fly over to... Hey, look at this. It's a new area. Except that I probably should have been a different kind of... Well, it automatically transforms me into this. That's cool. We can spend the last few minutes of this video exploring these new stages that I've never played before. Whale Bay. Let's see what this is like. God, the music is so fucking YouTuber, I swear to God. Everyone uses it because, like, it's super catchy, but not too repetitive, and they won't get in trouble. Well, actually, will they, though? Because it's Nintendo. Well, it's Rare, but it's Nintendo. But it's Rare. Which one is it, then? It's Japan, but it's England. Because you know how they are about their... Because basically, you know how generally video game music, unless it's licensed, is typically free from copyright bullshit? Well... that's not always the case, because Nintendo sometimes is like, no, you can't. What do you mean you want to listen to the music that we made and that'll promote the game to make more people want to buy it? No, you can't do that. Cripple our sales, please. We don't want anyone to know about that our games even exist. And I've always found that really interesting about certain game developers and publishers. It's like, wait, so you don't want people to know about your games? Because no one watches TV anymore, so no one's gonna see a fucking ad for the game. And everyone uses ad blocks, so it's like, no one's gonna see a YouTube ad for the game. And I don't think you even get ads for Nintendo games on those sketchy sites that we visit anyway, so it's like, well, how are people gonna find out about your games then? You want other people talking about them, so regardless, doesn't matter. This is actually interesting because I've played Wave Race 64, and I think even though obviously the wave physics aren't quite as impressive here as they are in that game, I do have to say this controls like a billion times better. That game's controls they were probably trying to make it feel like an actual hovercraft, but... Oh, the hovercraft. Fucking jet ski, you know what I mean? But there were times where I felt a little bit loose, a little unwieldy. Here, though, everything's really tight. Again, I'm just really happy with how this game plays, how it controls. Just gonna go ahead and grab another balloon over here. I'm assuming that's what's gonna happen. I am curious, though, if you revisit a track right after completing it, does it automatically throw you into the coin challenge, or do you have to complete them all in a category and then go? Fuck, I didn't get it. And then you get to... Oh my god, it's the song that played in freaking one of Donkey's, this really old video that Donkey did for Halo 2 where they're like racing, and he made it seem like it's Mario Kart, but it was actually Diddy Kong. That's the joke. Dum 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 dum. Okay, the bass line though. Yeah, David Wise composed this, which is very unusual because there's nothing that makes you want to cry in this game, which is what he typically does. He writes music for games about monkeys where you want to have a fucking mental breakdown because it's like, why would you make it so sad? You know, but that's not really, I guess, it shows that he's flexible and he doesn't just write the same kind of shit. Which, not that that's really a bad thing necessarily. Sometimes it's cool to have like a distinct sound. Like when I hear something written by Alexander Brandon, it's like, oh fuck yeah, that's unreal. Right? Or Michaela Vendenboss. Like if you listen to the original Age of Wonder soundtrack, it's like, hey, that's unreal. Because that was easily the most noteworthy game that used their music, I guess. I don't know. Jazz Jackrabbit's cool too. Regardless though, we're pretty much wrapping it up at this point. I'm just kind of rambling about random shit, but yeah, I'm enjoying this game so far. Let's just go ahead and complete this race, and then I'll test my theory. I'll go and see if I can actually enter the race again and see if it automatically sends me to the... Oh, fuck, wait, hold on. No, this isn't the last lap, so it's fine. It's so weird playing a kart racer like this is genuinely very challenging. Although, I still don't know where that challenge comes from. Is it just from the fact that your kart is slow as shit compared to everyone else's, and you have to use boost to try and catch up? Because often, I don't know, I guess it's because of my preconceived understanding of how racing games work. But hey, you know, fuck you, I beat you anyway, you stupid turtle shit. So, I get, oh no, fuck off, that's not fair. You got knocked out of the race. I mean, you can't knock them out of the race permanently, they just kind of, no, I'm gonna fucking nail this next corner, and you're gonna, yes, okay, I did it. Okay, I'm gonna get the balloon now, and I'm gonna go back to see if it sends me to the coin challenge, to see if that works. Come on. Skip through that, and turn back around to the previous stage, and see what happens. Is it gonna do the coin challenge, or is it just gonna... oh, I get to select? I don't get to select. What's gonna happen now? No, it's not a coin challenge. Okay, we'll turn to lobby. Let's exit and save. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode of Focus on B, the video series where I spent about 20 or so minutes playing a game. This time I spent a little bit more than that, a little 22 minutes, but still playing a game that I've got some thoughts on and I've been playing. And this is Diddy Kong Racing for the N64, released in 1997 by Rareware.